A shocking discovery out of a small town in Alabama. The FBI busted an alleged terrorist training compound where, similar to the bust in New Mexico, children were being trained to carry out domestic terrorism. This training compound was found in Macon County and said to be owned by an imam who is already facing firearms and terrorism charges. So joining us now to break it all down, investigative journalist Ben Swann. So Ben, the FBI described the grounds as this makeshift military-style obstacle course. What more can you tell us about this?
So this is a pretty interesting story, and I'm glad to be talking about it because a lot of times what the media will report on this and what the FBI says don't quite meet up when you start to really look through what the investigation has found so far. So this location, which is near Tuskegee, Alabama, as you said, Macon, is a small town, and there's a dirt road that leads you down to this so-called makeshift compound, which could be used for training for terrorist activities. What's interesting about this is I don't see any information so far what the FBI is saying about anyone actually being trained there or being arrested at this compound. What it appears to be is that the person who owned this property and this compound is the same person, this Siraj Wahab, who apparently also owned the compound in New Mexico. So these two things are related in that it's the same person who owned both of these locations. And in the New Mexico case, 5 people have been arrested and have been charged by the FBI there. But there's a lot of questions even about how that's all playing out.
So there are nearly 1,000 open and ongoing investigations into domestic terrorism. This particular case, as you said, it surrounds this guy, Siraj Wahaj. This is a case of Islamic extremism, they say, but a now deleted House of Representatives oversight page, the oversight committee, once showed a graph of the spike of jihadi attacks on Western countries since 2001 to 2016. But yet here's President Trump cutting funding to this Obama-era program to help fund a program that tackles specifically domestic terrorism. How do you read that?
Yeah, so a couple of thoughts on this. First of all, this Siraj Hawaj, who apparently was, as we said, the guy in New Mexico who has been charged. The headlines all say, and what the FBI is saying is he was training kids at this camp to be involved in school shootings, to shoot their teachers, and to kill people involved in institutions that he doesn't like and he doesn't agree with. Right? The problem is that when you actually read what they've been charged with in New Mexico, one of the 5 people was from Haiti. And that person had a firearm and had ammunition. And so what the FBI is charging these 5 people with is not with terrorism, but with a person who was in the country illegally, a foreign alien having a firearm and ammunition. And the other people who have been charged, including Siraj, have been charged not with fomenting terrorism. They have been charged with a conspiracy to allow that person to have a gun and ammunition. That is the entirety of the case right now, other than some child abuse charges, which actually were dropped by the state because the prosecutor's office had 10 days to have an evidentiary hearing and did not hold it. So the point of this, I know it's a little bit off track from what you asked me, but it's important to understand that in this case, the FBI is not doing a very successful job so far of proving that these people are in fact domestic terrorists that are working towards domestic terrorism, that are actually trying to carry out a domestic plot. Why have they not been charged with any of that? Only charged with helping a person who was a foreign alien with having a gun.
So, yeah, I wonder if it has anything to do with their lack of funding. Who knows? But this counter domestic terrorism program, Ben, that has been cut by President Trump, it does fall under the purview of DHS, whose attention we know now is squarely on illegal immigration, tons of money being thrown towards that problem. So then let me ask you this. Is this a misguided approach then at keeping the homeland safe?
Right. I think what we really see here is that DHS, as you said, absolutely, they are solely focused on illegal immigration and the border specifically. But the FBI has a long history of going and breaking up terror cells and stopping terrorists who, it turns out, weren't actually terrorists at all. And so I think we need to watch this case very carefully. I'm not saying these people were not attempting to do these things. I'm saying that there needs to be an expectation on the FBI to prove their case, not just take their headline at face value.
Right. The labeling does matter. It does affect court outcomes here. As always, appreciate your take on this, Ben Swann.
Manila, thanks.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.